we're back and we're moving into our final conversation for today as we find out what's happening with Galen University. Joining me this morning, we have Sherry Gibbs, who is the Dean of Faculty of Arts and Science at Galen University. We also have in the middle Dr. Dorian Barrow, who's the Dean of Faculty of Education. And on the end, Dr. Sylvia Cattouse, Dean of Faculty of Business and Entrepreneurship. Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning and welcome. Thanks very much for having us. This morning's sessions really is that we want to introduce some of the new programs that Galen has.
Yes.
And to let the nation know that there are still opportunities for them to sign up. We have actually planned and developed and pilot tested several programs that we are now running for the first time beginning in September. So I'd like Dr. Cattouse to start by telling us what are some of the programs that her faculty has been developing and offering, particularly the entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Entrepreneurship. We just had a conversation about entrepreneurship.
Yes. Well, we are extremely excited. You know, Galen continually look at ways in which we can add to the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Belize. So we've had an entrepreneurship program for about 3-4 years, but we decided it was time to really restructure it. Yeah. And with the restructuring, we're looking at just the academic portion, and then we're introducing an innovation center. The innovation center will have, most people are used to the term incubator, but it's really beyond that. So we'll do the incubator, but we'll also do business acceleration as well.
Yeah.
In the incubator, students will have an opportunity to develop ideas that we feel could be marketable, and they will graduate not only with the degree but also with hopefully a running business.
Yeah.
And so we're looking at maybe providing them with the technical support, some seed capital, et cetera, and also with that we're working with the Santa Elena San Ignacio Town Council. In partnership with them, we will also be offering services to the small and medium-sized entrepreneurs in the Santa Elena San Ignacio area.
How do you distinguish is the entrepreneurship program a degree program?
It is a degree program, but in the restructuring, there will be more practical applications.
Okay.
Rather than just simply an academic program with some internships and some projects.
Okay.
But that is the main reason why we've introduced the Innovation Center.
Nice. So what is the benefit of having a degree in entrepreneurship?
Well, the thing about it is that in terms of planning, in terms of being able to be a little bit more analytical, for example, one of the things that the students do and will be doing in that particular program, they'll be doing business analytics. That is something that most of our businesses don't do. And so in the academic program, it's pretty much helping them to know ways in which they can optimize their business success.
Very nice. And what are you hoping to come out of your Innovation Center?
Well, we are hoping that out of the Innovation Center, several things will happen.
Yeah.
Some students will graduate with a viable business, that we will also be able to provide services for, in the first instance, the San Ignacio, Santa Elena businesses, mentors. Our students will also come out with mentors. So mentors not during the time when they're doing the degree, but mentors that will go beyond the degree program with them.
Yeah. Now what I hear clearly, and we'll talk about the other programs too, is that there's constantly a rethinking of what the needs are in the country, and how best you can serve as a tertiary level institution to equip the young minds and even those who are returning to school with skills that will help them. Why this direction with the new programs that you're offering now? What have you seen to make you feel that enhanced entrepreneurship program, a VET program, a hospitality and tourism program are the right direction?
And what you didn't mention is the secondary education.
The secondary
program,
education,
right?
thank you.
Very critical. As a private institution, we have to constantly be assessing our environment.
Yeah.
What are the needs? Because we are not subsidized in any way, except for the Ministry of Education, who last year gave us some help in terms of financing student tuition. So we have to basically constantly be assessing what are the needs, in which direction should we be developing programs and offering programs. What are some of the programs that have already saturated the market and so created new ones? So those are some of our thinking in terms of that. That was one of the thinking that went into the VET program. So we just asked Dean Gibbs if she could talk about that.
Yeah, the VET program, it's exciting for me to know that we're going to be able to launch students out there to help, and then professionals to help work with assessing animal health. From what I understand, there was a veterinary technician program years ago, maybe back in the 80s. For some reason it was stopped. So there's no opportunity for individuals within the country who are interested in this area to study here in Belize. It's a technician program, so it's an associate's program, gets you started off 2 years. It's online. We've linked up with Baja, so we have access to their lab. So there will be a component on the weekends where students will need to come in, so they can spend some time in the labs doing hands-on work and an internship. But all of those individuals who work in the area with animals, think of those who have ranches, poultry farms, people within shops who maybe sell veterinary supplies, where you have farmers and you have people with pets and animals coming in with these questions. Animal health is such a huge concern for us. So it's not just your pet and your animal when it gets sick, but all of those problems that then happen when that sickness transfers over to us. And then we also see how animal health can impact our economy. A number of years ago, when the chicken flu outbreak, when that broke out in Spanish Lookout, that was a mess, and farmers out there lost a tremendous amount of money. And that trickles down then onto the consumer, right? So again, as Dr. Barrow had said, looking at the needs of the country and how can we best serve those. And so we thought having a veterinary technician program focusing on animal health is one of those great ways.
Is the aim for new students to enroll in the program, or are you more looking at certifying persons who are already working?
Both. So you're a high school student or a junior college student, but high school, I think, if you're not really sure what you want to do and you like animals, anybody out there, whether you're retired, whether you maybe already work with a vet, but having that opportunity to get certified, it's just going to elevate you and add to what you already know and have.
And have you seen much interest so far?
Yes, we have. Yeah, a tremendous amount of interest. And I think especially because it's online, so we can service people across the country. You don't have to move into Central Farm or into the Cayo area to come to classes.
Fascinating. You know, and I appreciate what you said, because I know when people hear vet science, they think of, taking care of a sick puppy. But while that is important as dog lovers, I will say that.
That is very important.
Very, extremely, but let's not go that route. We may be minority. But when we talk about agriculture health and the key component here in looking at how it ties into our economy, the global threats of different diseases and bacteria and how they can come here, we know that we consistently have to build up our front line in that area. So,
yes, absolutely.
I can see why Baja would partner on that front.
And also in terms of exports, there are standards that our agricultural and our livestock have to meet if they're going to be exported. And especially like how we are targeting the region now, the Caribbean region specifically, in order to export things like poultry and other animal products. This becomes critical, and the partnership with not only Baja but also with the local veterinary association, right? Because they have to have an input in terms of the program, because part of the certification involves their recognition of that.
Nice.
But going on, we were talking about the puppy, because too, I also think those who are involved in the humane societies, right? There's a lot of them popping up around the country, and to reach out, and individuals who are just interested.
To be trained, definitely. So let's talk about secondary education now.
Yes, secondary education.
Listen to these segments.
There was something that happened last year, Melanie, that almost drove me to tears. I was watching your newscast, and you guys reported on a story in Belmopan where some students were just going to school. This was in September or something like that last year. Some students were just going to school, but there were no physics teachers. So these were fourth form students who were preparing for the CXC, right? But there was no teacher. And the parents, of course, they got upset because they were using that time to, as free time, I guess, or to send them home. And when we found out what actually was happening was that the teacher who was teaching physics at that particular school had been given a special license and a particular period of time in order to become trained, and that person didn't do that, and so as a result of that, the Teaching Service Commission pulled the license. So that kind of got us, kind of helped to accelerate the whole thinking, and so we decided that how we were going to develop a roster of programs, again based on the needs. So it was one in physics, we developed one in mathematics, one in computer science, one in English, one in business administration, and then one in language, right? Belize Studies. Belizean Studies. Right. Now, as you know, the government have decided, the Ministry of Education have decided that they will be phasing out social studies from the secondary schools and replacing it with Belize Studies. As a matter of fact, when we are finished here, we're going to a workshop today to facilitate that kind of development. They've pilot tested, I think, 16 schools. And so we jumped on that and we developed a secondary program. So we have these programs, these 6 programs, 6 majors, a bachelor's degree program, secondary education. The programs are going to be all online. Now, in addition to that, we have developed some diploma programs, right? Because there are people who are in the system who, for example, may have a degree in biology, but they don't have the pedagogy. So we have a diploma in pedagogy. And there are some people who might be teaching in an area where they don't have the content. So we also have diploma programs in that. All these programs have been approved by the Ministry of Education, right? As a matter of fact, we couldn't even advertise until they had given us the green light. And so it's a go for those stuff.
Now, this is so crucial, and I think that it warrants the time to explain, because we have primary education programs. Right. We have early childhood programs looking at the specific needs based on the age groups. In primary ed, for example, you're kind of a general teacher. You teach multiple subjects. But in the secondary school, you're looking at a specific skill sets. And when you say things like mathematics or language, or even the Belizean Studies program, it's crucial that whoever's in the classroom would be able to deliver it best to the students in their high schools. Are you hoping to be able to qualify teachers that are already in the classroom? Is that what we're aiming to do first?
That is one of our major targets, right? Our major targets right now. Those who are currently in the system, working on their full licensing, right? And this is the program for them. Just last week, we had a visit from a team from the Belmopan Baptist Secondary School, including the principal and the person there who teaches I think social studies there, signing up for this particular program. So that is one of our main targets right now, and we want them to know that it's available, right? All that they have to do is to get in contact with us online.
Great initiative. And so the other newcomer is your hospitality and tourism.
Yes, and as well, we are really excited about that. Galen had a tourism program about 5-6 years ago, and we closed it off, and now we're reintroducing it in a really more practical way. We are going to focus on some certifications. So a student will enter and finish not just with the degree, but also with certifications in certain areas. We are making arrangement with one of the global certifiers of hospitality programs, and so that we can focus several courses within the pathway for the hospitality degree that will be certified by this particular institution
Now, people interchange the use of hospitality and tourism. What is the distinction between a hospitality degree?
When we talk about hospitality, generally, we talk about all those things involve the visitor coming and having a good, comfortable experience.
Yeah.
In Belize. Generally, tourism is as a whole,
Yeah.
The adventure and all the other things that go along with it. But the hospitality is the aspect where the particular tourist has a good experience.
Yeah, that human-to-human
The
interaction.
human-to-human interaction. So we're looking at things like events planning, food and beverage. We're also looking specifically at things like accounting and financing for the hospitality industry, and a whole array of things. Housekeeping. People might think, oh, that is simple, but it is not. So we're focusing on that. We're doing, of course, front office. We're looking also at the digital applications that we have now in the hospitality industry, and that sort of thing.
And us partnering up with the International Hotel Association. I said, if you could tell us a little bit about that. As part of this program.
Okay, so the partner that we will be working with for the certification will be the American Hotel and Lodging Education Institute.
Nice.
So we're quite excited about that. We're going to be partnering with also Hotel Training Services, which is Jim Scott and Lorena Saldano, and they have been working with us to develop the program, and we're hoping, of course, that they will be lecturers in the program for us as well.
Excellent.
So we're really excited about that.
So these are all going to be offered as of when? September, summer?
September, the tourism program begins in September.
Yeah.
In addition to that, there will be short-term internships. Some of the courses will have maybe a week internship, but in the second semester of their third year, the whole semester will be an internship. So we're looking at about 14 weeks of being placed on a property.
Yeah.
And we are working with several high-end properties as well as other properties. One of the issues in Belize, as you know, is that 80% of managers of these properties are non-Belizean. And the others who are Belizean may not have the requisite training.
Yeah. And also that leads a lot to the expectations too. If you're not Belizean, you are used to a different level of service than we have been providing here as well.
Right.
So this brings them up to par.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So as of September, these new programs will be offered.
That's right. These new programs will be added to our existing programs. We
Yeah.
have programs, as you know, in accounting, in anthropology,
Yeah.
in business administration, in computer science. We have one of the best computer science programs, not only in Belize, but in the region, right? One of the best programs in computer science. We have the program in criminal justice. I saw you had the commissioner of police.
He's
this
one of our
morning,
lecturers.
right? And he teaches in that particular program. He has been teaching in that for
some
quite
years
some
now.
time. That is a very, very big. Then we have programs in economics, environmental science. So these are just addition to some of those international business, and of course the elementary, the elementary education.
And which are offered online and which are not?
Most of our programs are both.
Yeah.
Especially in the business admin, in our faculty. And so some of them are, for the younger students, we really do want them to be on campus, because there's still that aspect of their development that just having them do online courses might not happen. So most of them, the new students that come in, they may have, let's say, 4 courses on campus and maybe 2 online. So, and then of course we have our business program, and we have our econ program and accounting programs, which we do have fully online ones as well.
Within excuse me, arts and science, we're more traditional, except for criminal justice is totally online. And it was developed originally looking at professionals, those who are working full-time, the non-traditional student. And most of the students that came in were immigration, customs, police officers. And it worked great for them, but we started to get a lot of interest from high school and junior college students. And so it's been a bit of a challenge because they, of course, want a face-to-face. We do have the general core courses that they have to take, and so we get them to come on campus for that. But the anthropology and environmental science programs are face-to-face, and we really encourage having the students come on campus. And because of the face-to-face, we do a lot of field courses and spending time out in the field doing applied work. And so it's important that they're able to do that. Our computer science program is a little bit of both, online and face-to-face. And the new vet program. It actually started in January, and so for the current vet students who are watching, to give them a shout out, they were the first cohort to start and to work through it with us, and then we're hoping for a big official launch in September.
Finally, we want to dismiss this myth, because there's this broad myth that Galen is an expensive place to go.
Well, I was going to ask that question. What is this going to cost?
So we want Dean Cattouse and Dean Gibbs to address that. Galen is the only institution in the country that has a financial services division, right?
But before, I'd like to mention that we have graduate programs as well. We have the MBA program, the Masters in Business Administration program, which is what we call a blended program. It is about 90% online and face-to-face, maybe occasionally on a Saturday or so. And that is about it's a 15-month program and 12 courses. It is geared at professionals, working professionals. It's very, very doable. And we also have a new graduate program coming in, I believe, in January. Dr. You would like
Yes, it's a program that we're doing jointly with the Citadel University in South Carolina. It's a master's degree program in literacy, right? But Sylvia, tell us a little bit about the
So what is a financial services division? I pay when I can.
Numerous permutations. Okay, our financial services division offers several products. You have a pay-as-you-go, or what we call an installment plan. We also have numerous scholarships. We have academic scholarships, which are for students with a 3.5 and above. We have professional scholarships. Those are usually 3.0 and above. We also have sports scholarship. You know, we have excellent football team and volleyball team and basketball team. Don't say anything about that. Both male and female teams, right? And so we have scholarship in those We also have our professional work scholar program, whereby students work as they go along, and their work gets credited towards their tuition. And then, of course, we have the loan program. The loan program is an excellent one. You don't need to put a collateral, but you need to have 2 guarantors, and also, of course, recommendation letters, etc. So, and very low interest.
Basically, philosophically, we believe that you have to make a financial contribution, right? We don't believe that everything should be free.
It's an investment in yourself. It's an investment.
Right? And what we do, we sit with you, right, to work out how much you can afford, and then we try to complement with the other set of services.
How's enrollment going so far?
Enrollment is good. Enrollment. This is a kind of a last opportunity for those students who might be thinking. What happens is that we get a lot of questions, right? And so this is also an opportunity to try and clarify some of these things, particularly in terms of the financial services.
And for those that are online, you can save
some
a
of the
lot
new
of costs
programs.
too.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
But to let students know that we're available to come in and visit, or to reach us online through email, to call us, to WhatsApp us, in case they have those questions and to find out more. I wanted to just add too, we were talking about the financial services, the scholarship program, but what we also do to help students is our kind of like a mentoring program, our advising program. It's really important, especially for me, and I think in our program, or in the faculty, but making sure that we have a really close connection with our students and keeping an eye on them. And even if they're not your advisee, but they're in your class and you see students struggling, trying to understand what it is. Are they not understanding the material? Are they having some issues that they're having a hard time with and that's blocking them or preventing them from being academically successful? Are there financial issues, again, that are causing them stress? And so we have a coach, a lifetime coach, a counselor, that you can identify a student, have them go and see Kendra, but then also maybe refer them to Mrs. Anderson, who is our Director for Financial Services, to try to figure out what it is that's going on so that we can help them. We want to see them succeed. We want to make sure that there are ways that they can afford to complete their degree.
We also have a very robust tutoring program, as in fact many of the students who are work scholars work in that program.
In a particular program. Finally, she did not mention grants, right? We are working very closely with the Ministry of Education last year, and we really want to thank the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education. Last year, they gave us $100,000 to help with student tuition. And basically what we did was just to divide that among all the people in education, right? So this is also an additional incentive for people to participate in the education program. So in addition to the loans and the scholarships, you can also be eligible for a grant.
So people just have to get in touch so that they can figure out how it's going to cost, what it's going to cost them. And of course, you are currently admitting students at this point. People can apply.
Of course,
right?
yes. And for financial services, questions on financial services, it would be financialservices@galen.edu.bz, and this is Mrs. Gina Escalante, who is the Director of Financial Services.
Escalante Anderson.
Anderson, sorry.
Thank you so much for coming in and telling us about these new programs, and we really do wish you the best of luck.
Thanks so much.
Well, Ms. Nalini, we want to just leave these two brochures with you. Of course, I'm pushing the secondary and the primary education program, so that is basically what is there.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take that final break now, and when we come back, we'll have our wrap-up, so stay tuned.